Hi, welcome. In this video, while I'm on the theme of dog aggression, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk about this issue of control, or how dogs respond. The dogs that are holding a lot of power and control in the relationship and the motives have gone sideways. How a dog responds as the relational changing method and script begins to cover off, as they begin to, as you start to fade into the picture, as you're beginning to attach yourselves to different situations, objects, everything begins to line up. What you'll see, and this is interesting, depending on the level of control a dog has, just how much power that dog has gained in the relationship, you'll see that dog start to act. People say dogs acting weird or crazy, doing things it didn't do before. And so what happens is the dog will try to make up the difference. Okay, it's very interesting how this plays out as you begin to, gain traction and fade into the picture. As you begin to take your rightful role in the relationship, you'll see the dog begin to get desperate. Okay, it'd be kind of like a teenager kicking a hole in the door, and as the parent begins to, get in their airspace in a healthy way. Just that the relationship itself, it needs that figurehead, whether it's parenting or whether it's a relationship with a dog. It's the same thing. But again, the reaction levels will give you an indication of just how much power that dog's holding. Because what happens is, again, just think of it this way: the dog didn't have to challenge or act that way before, because, believe it or not, it was in total control. Okay, and that's the deception here when it comes to the picture. As a dog can look completely balanced, but it can be completely upside down. That's the big thing in the dog training world to understand, is that why appearances are very deceiving. But it's those interactions that assert a reasonable level of influence, and how the dog responds to that, which will start to lay some of the cards on the table. This is why, the moments that you think are typically the owners will say, well, my dog is pretty good, except, well, the except part is the truth, and the pretty good part is typically the deception. Okay. So interactions that represent you beginning to assert influence, say this is why the walk on the leash will start to go haywire, when it's done within that parameters of leadership that way. In certain objects the dog is trying to possess, how they respond to other dogs, all those different things will expose the motives of the dog. And those are the things to pay attention to. That's the truth of it. Like I said, everything else is, dog is kind of floating around doing their thing, but totally in control. Even when the dog goes into a crate, just how that lines up, just understand, it's very interesting. The dog go in the crate and be perfectly fine, so long as in their mind they have control. Okay, but as soon as this script comes online, you start shutting that door, even though you may shut it the same way. Just understand, it's different now. Okay, the dog knows what's going on, and they'll start to react to everything. And you're like, man, what's going on? This dog is acting crazy. Well, no, it actually all makes sense if you think about the context of how things are changing. What the dogs understand what's happening, and so they're trying to make up the difference. So anyway, just something to think about. When you see this type of behavior, it's not, people have used the word bipolar with me before. It's not some bipolar or anything like that. It's the dog understanding what's happening, and they're trying to regain control. They're trying to kind of they'll start to overinvest into that which they had control before. Okay, and things matter to them that way. So it's all about control. It's about fulfillment that way, and it's about understanding the context of how a dog's responding once the relational changing script begins to cover off and take hold. So thanks for watching.